Alright, we're going to try this again. My name is Steve. You've been listening to a replay of Missing Kids TV episode number 23. The original 5 segments that you just got done listening to for the last 2 hours or so were originally recorded in May of 2002. Back then, or 2012, I mean. Back then, there was a glitch at the end of those 5 segments, much in the same way that there was a glitch just now. Many months later, it is now February of 2013 that I'm recording this specific segment, and go figure, the glitches are following me some 9 months later, go figure. But at any rate, I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this replay. It is my hope that you will hit the follow button and follow along with all of our broadcasts. It is my hope that you will share this broadcast with others and make it go viral. Make it so that people understand the horrors of human trafficking. Make it so that people understand what kind of things are going on out there. I'm still friends with Angel. I still talk to her on a consistent basis. She's doing fine. You can follow her at Angels Fight for Justice if you type that into Facebook. Angels Fight for Justice. Additionally, links to her group and whatnot are found at the MKTV Facebook page that you can find at facebook.com/missingkidstv. If you're listening to this on YouTube at youtube.com/missingkidstv, I encourage you to hit the subscribe button to follow along. And for the rest of you guys, I want to say thank you. My name is Steve. You've been listening to MKTV, and we will be back again next week. So with that, I'm signing out. My name's Steve. Thank you for listening. And you are listening to Missing Kids TV. This is episode number 23. And this is a very, very special episode today, guys. I'm not doing any bells, no whistles, no sound effects, no music, no nothing. Just me and a very special guest that I have on the show today. This show is, dedicated to a girl named Angel. Angel is not her real name. It is just a pseudonym that we're going to be using for the purposes of this particular episode. Angel is a survivor of human trafficking. She had an attempt made on her, and certain events occurred, and for the next 2 hours we are going to be talking about Angel's story. So at this time, I would like to welcome everyone that is listening to this live or on a replay to Angel. Angel, say hi.
Hi.
Hello. How are you doing? I know we had a little, an incident for those that have listened to last week's episode. Is everything okay with you?
Yes, I'm apologizing to everyone for that little incident.
Okay, well, we had a lot of audio glitches and whatnot last time. This particular episode is being done in this fashion because I feel that this particular subject in this particular episode is way too important to risk having dogs barking, phones ringing, coughing, wind, screaming, yelling, whatever. This is far too important a subject. Other people may possibly be listening to this episode, and lives may actually be at stake. So for those reasons, that is why this particular episode is being done in the fashion that it is being done. Because who knows where this particular episode is going to go, or who may be listening to it. There may be possibly listening this very minute another trafficking victim who is afraid to come out and speak out against their attacker. It is my hope that having this conversation with Angel will encourage other individuals to come out and to come forward. And because of that, and because of the fact that lives are at stake and potential predators' lives, may be affected, and we have the potential to stop them and whatnot. That is why this particular episode is being done in the fashion that it is. I will not be taking calls in this episode. I will not be playing videos. I will not be playing musical clips. I will not be doing anything like that on this particular episode. If you want to get all the information of all the weekly stats and, where I'll be next episode and things like that, I encourage you to go to my website at facebook.com/missingkidstv. That is where you will find all the updates for all the upcoming episodes. That is not what we're going to be talking about today. Today we're going to be talking about Angels Story. So, Angel,
Yes.
tell us a few details about yourself. Okay, you are 19, correct?
Yes, I just turned 19 back in February.
Okay. And this incident that we're going to be talking about today, this occurred when you were 14, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and you just now have gotten the courage to come forward and talk about this, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Well, I for one, would like to commend you on your courage and the strength that you are showing in doing this, okay? I have been an advocate for a while, and I'd like to extend a heartfelt handshake, hug, whatever you want to call it, to you for having the courage to come forward and do that. And I hope and pray that this episode will be an inspiration to others to do the same. Okay? Now, just so that my listeners are aware, okay, where are you geographically? Where do you live?
Barrie, Ontario.
Okay, you're in Ontario right now. Now, is that where this incident occurred?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. Fair enough. And okay. So you. Okay. How can I say this? You were a victim of human trafficking. Is that correct?
Yes, attempted human trafficking.
Okay, attempted human trafficking, which is, very significant traumatic event. Okay. How many individuals were involved in this attempt on you?
According to the police, there was about 10 people.
10 different individuals?
Yes.
All in the same time?
Yes. On, separated time.
Okay. Can you elaborate on that slightly? Can you,
Yes, I can. The police said I started at House A with 2 individuals, and they think that I ended up in multiple places because where they found me was not where they first looked for me, because they got a hint from someone saying that I was at this house. Meanwhile, they found me at a different house.
Okay, so you were, if I understand correctly from what we had talked off the air, I believe that you were at a party, I believe, and someone put a drug into your drink. Is that correct?
I was not at a party. I was at a community center.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Okay. So you were at like a YMCA or something like that?
Yes, but they call it the Downtown Community Center for Youth.
Oh, I see. Okay, and you were just, hanging out with your friends or something like that?
Yeah, I was hanging out with about 3 or 4 of my friends.
Okay, and cops believe that something was put into your drink. Is that correct?
Cops have proof that something was put into my drink.
Okay, I see. Okay, fair enough. And, okay, so from the... What is, the last thing that you remember on the day of the incident? And just for reference, what day was the... what year or what,
2007. It was in November.
Okay, so November of 2007. Okay, and then what was the last thing that you remember happening to you, or that you can recall before you went from place to place, or they took you from place to place, I should say?
Last thing I remembered was looking at a restaurant, walking onto the trail, and then turning around and seeing a shadow.
And that was one of the perpetrators?
Yes.
Okay, so you had something slipped into your drink. You were walking home, was it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I attempted to walk home.
You attempted to walk home, and then you were abducted.
Yes.
Okay. And what? Okay, that's very traumatic, and I sympathize with you there. Wow, that's very scary. Okay. What is the next thing that you remember happening to you?
The next thing I remember was cops opening a door.
Okay, and was this on the same day? This was you said this was November of 2007. Do you know the exact day?
Yes, November 11th.
November 11th of 2007. So the next time after you were taken by these individuals, now was it one person at the time that took you, or was it several? Or you don't remember?
One person walking up to me.
I'm sorry?
I only remember one person walking up to me.
Okay, you said it was a shadowy person that walked up to you.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the next thing you know, was it the same day, or it was a different day, or?
It was exactly 24 hours on the spot when the cops found me.
Oh my goodness. So,
Yeah,
do you have any idea what happened in that 24-hour period?
Yes. Around the early morning the day the police had found me, I remembered a female walking into this little room they had me in. It was dark, so I didn't really know what was around me, so I just kind of sat in the corner. And I remember her coming up to me and threatening me, saying she has a gun, blah, blah, blah. And
so this was another perpetrator, or was this another victim?
This was another perpetrator.
Did you know who this person was? Have you ever seen this person before?
I saw them earlier the night before at the community center, but I made no contact with them.
So, in other words, on the night of the quote-unquote party or whatever, on the night that this had occurred at the community center, you had seen this particular girl before, but you didn't recognize her. You didn't know her before, but you knew that she was at the community center before. Is that correct?
Yes, because I walked into the gym and I saw her standing there. So is it how do I say it? Is this a theory then that you were quote unquote being scoped out, for lack of a better term? Like they were watching you for a while, so to speak? Well, it was exactly 24 hours. I remember getting on the bus and going to another house, and that's all I really fully remember.
Okay, so all right, let me rephrase the question for you then. Okay, the girl that you woke up to holding the gun on you, you said that you saw her previously in the community center before, but you didn't know who she was, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, but you saw her. Was it just that one day before, or you've seen her like multiple times before that?
I went to the community center twice, and the second time was when I went missing. She wasn't there the first time.
I see. Okay, and you believe that this girl and the other gentleman, and you said there were up to 10, that they knew each other?
Yes, according to the police, it was all planned out.
Oh my goodness. See, now on this particular show, now I've done episodes in the past where I've talked about a group of individuals known as the smiley face killers. Are you familiar with the concept of the smiley face killers?
Yes, I am.
Okay, now it's been my understanding that groups of individuals like this exist all over the country and make coordinated attacks to capture individuals. I just earlier today I saw on the Lifetime network, I saw a story about Holly Bobo, who's a missing 20-year-old. And according to that particular case, she was last seen by walking off with a person in camouflage on her property. So it's logical to assume that if the things with like the smiley face killers is a fact, if there is such a group or several groups or several unrelated groups of individuals that are targeting specific people, then it stands to reason that this group of individuals were targeting you. Would that not make a little bit of sense, do you think? Or
it makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Okay, hang on one second here. All right. I don't even know how to ask these questions here. Hang tight one second. You know, my show is known for technical glitches, even when I don't have any technical glitches going on. So we'll have a little hearty laugh about that. So, all right. So the next thing you know, there is a girl holding a gun on you. Did she make demands of you?
Yes, she threw clothing at me, told me to put it on, and that if I didn't listen to her and follow her directions, that she'd pull the trigger.
And she was the only person in the room besides you at the time?
Yes.
Okay. What else was in the room? Was it just a blank room? I've heard stories of, you know, rooms such as this in which there is absolutely nothing in the room.
There was just a mattress on the floor.
Were there, like, locks on the doors that you were aware of?
I never really got up to look.
Okay.
And, like, when I opened my eyes, I got scared and just panicked.
And you were 14 at the time that this happened, correct?
Yes.
Unbelievable. Absolutely amazing. Wow, okay. And, okay, so I'm assuming that you did as she stated to do.
Yes.
Okay. What happened next? Did somebody...
We walked down a hallway. She gave me, not my shoes, someone else's shoes. She told me to put on the shoes. Like, I wasn't wearing any of my clothing. Like, I was just her clothing or someone else's. Put on the shoes. And then she said to me to try not to run, and if I do, she will bring me back to that house.
Oh, I see. So you were being transported from house A to house B, is that correct?
Yes.
I see. Okay, and you... Okay, do cops or anyone know where this location was at now? I mean, did they shut down this house, or did they raid the house, or anything like that?
They looked through the house. They found a lot of drugs, I guess, according to them. They found drugs and alcohol. And
I mean, are we talking like bricks worth of drugs, or just like, you know, recreational drugs, just like little bit?
No, like piles and piles and piles of drugs, acid, and... Wow,
okay. I'm assuming that these 10 individuals are all currently incarcerated or caught or on trial or something like that?
What had happened was, the moment I went to the police, after they interviewed the guy, they always give a warning. They say, don't leave the city, blah, 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 right?
Okay.
He picked up his things, left the girl at the house.
Okay, all right. Okay, I'm going to have to take a step back here for a second, because there's a missing gap here. Okay. All right, so they were transporting you from house A to house B. The girl was accompanying, she was staying behind in the house, in house A?
No, the girl was transferring me. I thought you asked about...
Okay, I'm trying to follow the story myself so that the listeners can follow the story as well. Yeah. Okay, all right, so...
So it was the girl that got me.
Okay, so she took you into a car, a van, a truck,
Actually to the city bus.
A city bus?
Yes, she
So,
had me
so you
put
guys
in
went
my-
onto a public city bus with other people on it?
Yeah.
Under gunpoint, but the other people on the bus didn't know that you were being taken by gunpoint?
Nope, it was hidden under a sweater or sweater jacket thingy that she had put on her arm.
That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. I hope that all the listeners listen to this and realize that human trafficking could be occurring right under your nose, and you would have no idea. You must pay full attention to your surroundings. The average people that are listening to this right now, that are listening to this live, and that are listening to this on a replay, please understand that it's all around you. Every single day. Everywhere. It's all around you all the time. You have to keep your eyes open for this kind of thing. You have the power to help save a life. You know, what happened to Angel can happen to anyone. Okay? You have to be aware of these things. Okay, so you were being taken on a bus by gunpoint from one point to another.
Yes.
Okay. What happened next?
Got to the second place. She left. I had no clue he was there.
Okay, who was at the second house? Was there somebody waiting for you at the second house?
Yes, someone waiting.
Was it a male or a female?
Female.
Okay. So it was another female. Okay, and then the first female left, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, did the second female have a weapon of some sort?
No.
Okay, so the first female took you into the second house and gave you to the second female, and then what happened? I mean, why?
And then everything went blank again.
It just went. What, were you offered a drink again, or what?
Water.
You were offered water again, and
water.
they forced you to drink the water.
I was a bit nervous, but yeah.
I see. Well, yeah. I mean, you're under gunpoint. What would you do? I mean, you had to, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's understandable. So then you blacked out again, okay? Understood. Okay, then what happened? I mean, what is the next thing that you remember after that?
There was a clock in this room. I noticed it was later on in the day.
Okay, so this would have been the 12th at this point? November 12th?
No. Yes, 12th. Sorry.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. You're doing wonderfully. Just understand that we're all here for you. We're here to support you. You have hundreds of people listening to you right now. Okay, they're all supporting you. They're all here for you, and they're all going to help me to help get this message out to everyone. Isn't that right, guys? Okay, show of hands, right? Yeah. Okay. There you go. We're all here for you. We're all supporting you. This story that you're doing right now is helping to make a difference. You may be saving the life of someone else. There may be a 14-year-old girl that is listening to this right now that was just about to go on the bus, that you may have just saved her life by sharing this story. Okay, so I mean, don't think that you're not making a difference, because you are. We all are. That's what this show is about. Okay, so yeah, with wow, this is just an absolutely amazingly incredible story, and I just want to really thank you for sharing this story with me. We're going to be talking a lot more with Angel here, but we're going to take a short break right now. Depending on how the editing of this particular episode goes, you may not notice any break at all. It may just be like 5 seconds. I don't really know. I've never really done a format like this before, but we're gonna try and we're gonna see, and we'll be back with more from Angel right here on Missing Kids TV. And we are back here on Missing Kids TV. This is episode number 23. Now, for those of you that are just joining us, I'm going to give a recap of what's happened so far. But first, before I do that, I have to kind of explain a few things here. Now, for all the listeners here, it's only been maybe 30 seconds or so from the last segment to this segment. However, for us, it's been about 4 days, okay? The first segment was recorded on Saturday, and as we're recording this, it is now Wednesday. So the second segment is now Wednesday. So we have to kind of throw that out there so nobody gets confused or anything like that. I still have with me as a guest is Angel. Angel is not her real name. She is a human trafficking survivor, and we are talking about Angel's story today. So say hello, Angel.
Hi.
Hello. Okay. Now, for a small recap of what I talked about in the first segment here. Okay, now, if I understand this story correctly so far, you, Angel, were at a party, or not a party, but like hanging out at a local youth center. You tried to get a drink of water and found that it was a drug of some sort was put into your drink. You were walking home from the youth center when you passed out. You realized that you were being followed by an unknown male. You ended up being passed out and put into some sort of a vehicle and taken to House A. You woke up, you found a empty room with nothing but a mattress and another unknown female who was holding you at gunpoint, who ordered you to change into a different set of clothing, and then you were taken on a public bus at gunpoint to a second location where an unknown second female was waiting for you. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, so I got the story correct so far. Okay, so you are now at the second house location, and what happens next?
I had blacked out for a bit.
Oh, that's right. You had they had ordered you to take another drink, and you had blacked out again. Okay, and then you woke up again, and where were you? Were you at the same second house?
I was still in the new place. The girl gave me back clothing. Again, I woke up with no clothes on. She gave me back the clothing. She told me to put it on.
Now, at that point, had something occurred to you, or you didn't know, or?
I still don't know to this day.
Okay. All right, so she ordered you to put clothing on, and I'm assuming you did, and then what happened?
She told me to follow her. I said, yeah. I said, okay. Because by the second time, I didn't want a chance to go pulling out a gun.
Okay. Now, so at this point, you didn't see any kind of a weapon or anything?
No, just this girl that was taller and much, much older than me.
Okay, so she was in what, her 20s or 30s maybe, or?
30s.
Okay. And had you ever seen this person before?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so this second person, you hadn't seen this person at the YMCA or whatever?
Nope.
Okay, all right. Okay, and then what happened?
I did what she said, of course. I followed her. I put on shoes. She took me on a different public bus, one that I was not used to.
Okay, now at this point, were you being held by gunpoint or no?
No, I just followed her because I was scared of her pulling out a gun like the last girl did.
Okay, so you were 14 at the time, and you were scared and confused and didn't really know what to do, and you just obeyed her orders because you were afraid of what would happen if you didn't, basically.
Yes.
Okay, understood, okay. Then what?
We got onto the bus. She told me to not look up, just like the other girl. She said, go to the back of the bus.
But the first girl had you at gunpoint, whereas this one did not. But she was older, and I would assume taller, bigger, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, continue.
Yeah. So then we had gotten on the bus. I followed her orders. I went to the back of the bus. Not all the way to the back. It was two-seater. I sat down. All of a sudden, I heard someone whisper my real name, but we'll say Angel.
Okay. Okay.
And
so the lady met like a fourth person on the bus then?
No.
10?
I'm trying to explain that.
Okay.
So I kind of looked at the front first to make sure the girl wasn't looking. She was still putting bus fare in. I looked behind me, and there was two people that were with me the night before.
Oh, two of your friends?
Two of my friends, yes.
Oh, okay, and?
And I quickly moved out of the two-seater and sat in between the two friends. I hugged them, and I told them that I was scared.
Okay. Did you tell them what was going on, or
not yet.
Okay. So she's filling out. She's putting the cab or the bus fare in the front of the bus. You managed to sit down in between your two friends, and then what?
She looked up, and then she yelled in the bus for me to move.
Okay.
Then one of the girls' friends started a fight with her. Said, no, she's not going anywhere. We're going to take her home. The girl said no. The bus driver then pulled over and kicked the girl that had me, not the two friends, the girl, off the bus.
Okay, so the trafficker was kicked off the bus?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you and your two friends were alone on the bus?
Yes.
And you were able to escape? Is that how you escaped?
That's kind of how that was my escape.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So I guess that's really good then. But so you have no idea who this woman was then, and
I had no clue who anyone was other than the whole time, the night before and the day, and I just had no clue.
Okay. I guess this might be a silly question, but I'm wondering why a human trafficker would use a public bus as opposed to like a car or a van or something like that. Did the cops offer any explanation or something like that, or?
Actually, the police earlier that day did a search of all the buses, didn't find anything.
Okay.
So earlier when I was like passed out,
okay,
they stopped the buses and they did a search.
Okay, so what happened next? Did you go to the hospital? Did you get...
No. What had happened was me and my friends stayed on until about 2 bus stops later.
Okay.
And then we got off and we ran to the nearest store.
Okay.
And then I sat down outside with one of the friends. My other friend ran in and told the guy that she needed to use the phone. She needed to call the cops.
Okay.
What? Go.
I'm gonna say, I mean, you didn't get checked out. You didn't go to the.
No, I did. Like, this is still before the police showed up.
Oh, I see. Okay. Continue.
As I was sitting outside, I had the hoodie up still, I had a sweater on, I had long pants on.
And these were all not your clothes, correct?
No, they were not.
Okay. Alright.
So then my friend got me to put the hoodie down. She saw some bruises on my face.
Oh, okay.
She said, what happened? I said, they tried to hurt me. The the guy raped me, and then I said I was at more than one place. I don't know what happened at the second.
Okay, so you, at that point, you did know that somebody had done something to you?
The first time, yes.
Okay, so when you were at the first house and you woke up, then you knew that somebody did something to you?
No, he raped me right on the trail before he
Oh, on the
me.
trail. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay. So before you were, so when you were walking home from the the youth center and you passed out the first time, then the unknown male, the very first one, he raped you. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes. And if you read my book that will be coming out, you'll get more detail on that.
Okay. But as far as you know, that was the only occurrence. Is that correct?
As far as I know, yes.
Okay, so you and your friends, you went to the hospital, is that correct?
No, the police had showed up at the store.
Okay.
They first took my two friends away and talked to them.
Okay.
Then asked me to get in the back of the police car and that they were taking me out to Aurora Hospital.
Okay. And what did the doctors say?
I didn't see a normal doctor. I saw it's a special unit. We don't have it in our city. That's why we had to drive out of city.
Okay.
And it's called the Sexual Assault Unit.
So it's something like SVU, Law and Order kind of thing. So
yeah.
Okay. And what did they say, or what did they do?
They ran test beyond test for about an hour, as I can recall, as they did the first few tests. Then they sent me into a room to go shower.
Okay.
And I broke down crying in the shower.
Did they? I'm assuming they contacted your parents.
Yes, the cops did that.
Okay. And did you get to see your mom, or how soon was it that they came, or whatever?
The cops got me around 6. My mom didn't see me until 11 o'clock that night.
Oh my goodness, why so late? Was she at work or something, or what?
Why so late? It's because when they're doing the test and checking out your body, they ask you if you want your mom in there.
I see.
I said no because I felt really ashamed.
Right. No, yeah.
And as we did the test, I was more and more thankful that my mom was in there because they used like a blue light thing.
Yeah.
Search all over your body.
What is that? The luminol, I think it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as they did that, I felt very ashamed, and I saw marks and spots, and I flipped out.
Yeah.
So I was happy my mom wasn't in there.
Okay.
So once we were done the first test, I went to shower. She sat me down, and then we had to do blood work, and then she let me sleep for about half an hour. She woke me up. And after that, that's around when they let my mom in.
Okay.
And my mom came in, and I thought she's like, okay, the doctor girl, she's like, okay, you guys can leave. I thought I was going straight home, but I ended up right at the police station.
Okay. And you had mentioned earlier that the police said that there were up to 10 people involved in this. Okay, so far we...
after some investigation, there was up to 10 people involved in this.
Well, where are the other 6 then? We've talked about 4 so far.
The other 6 were down at the youth center. They were keeping me there, kind of,
So when you originally had your drink, had a drug in it, there were up to 6 or 7 people at the youth center watching your every move, basically.
Yes, every time I moved, I noticed someone watching me. But even the cops said, before I even said that to the cops, they were like, there's more people, there's 10 people involved in this altogether. I said, how? He says, well, we did some interviews, we can't tell you who said, but they said that a lot of people broke down because they had to interview everyone that was at the youth center that night.
Okay, now I'm going to tell you my because I'm hearing this story for the first time, just like the rest of the listeners are. Okay, and I have a couple thoughts here. Okay, are you saying then that the okay, how can I say this? Okay, first off, I guess I have to ask. Did the cops tell you of any other victims, or did they just pick on you, or were there other known victims in your town?
There's about 5 other known females that had went from the youth center to gone missing.
Have any of them been located?
4 of them have, one's still missing.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Wow. And we have to say that this all occurred back in November of 2007. So these other 4 have been found, but one is still missing from 2007 to today.
Yep.
Okay. When we go off the air later, I would like to, if you know it, I'd like to know who that person is, and I'd like to know more about that off the air, because I know we're hiding your identity and all. So I'd like for you to tell me a little more about that off the air, if you know. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I guess one thought or one thing that was going across my mind is that the police in the area, they said at this point that they knew that this was all going on at the youth center, but yet they didn't warn anybody. They didn't, I mean, what, were they conducting a sting operation or something? Or, I mean, how is it that they just basically let this happen, or they let this go on?
Actually, 2 years after my case was reported, they closed down that youth center.
Well, that's still 2 years, though. I would have expected it in 2 days. You know, how is it?
They were closed down for about 3 weeks, 2 days, like a day after.
Okay, now you may not know this, but do you know, like, when these other 5 individuals went missing? Was it before you? Was it after you? Was it at the same time?
The one still missing went missing before me.
Okay.
In about January of that year.
Okay.
And then the other were 2 were the 3 were before, but I don't know the other 2.
Okay, so okay, I guess what I'm saying is, so from now you're in Canada, so I mean maybe things are a little different in Canada than they are in the United States, but because I'm in Indiana, I'm in the United States, so I don't know, maybe police work is a little different there, but I'm trying to understand then if somebody went missing in January of 2007 and is still currently missing. And granted, they shut down the youth center 2 years after your case. How is it that somebody went missing from the youth center in January, and yet you didn't know anything about? I mean, if the cops knew that there was human trafficking going on in January of 2007 at this location, why they didn't stop your incident from occurring? Do you get what I'm saying?
The reason for that, I actually have the answer for that, was because I actually went after the youth center after I had gone missing, after they found out the guy's real age, and they kind of asked, wow, what was he doing? Like, the cops asked him, wow, what was a 20 to 30-year-old doing in the youth center?
Right.
From only up to 19. They said, I don't know, the cops knew his real age. They knew him really well. So
this guy had been arrested before, apparently. I
yes,
guess.
he has been arrested before.
Okay. But how is was there like a cover up, or was this in the news before or something?
It was completely covered up. The police, they kept thinking, oh, it's a youth center, they're getting youth off the street. When meanwhile, it's just getting youth into human trafficking.
So I get, okay, so were the cops in on this, I guess, or I mean, would they just not reporting the fact that this was going on, or what? I mean, I'm trying.
The center itself, the people that worked there didn't know this was going on.
How? Okay, so how is it that they didn't know any of this was going on? I guess
because they're so blind. They didn't pay much attention to people there. Like, I can remember that from that night. They didn't pay much attention to people that was there.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, okay. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take a quick break here, and then we will be back with segment number 3 on episode number 23 of Missing Kids TV. Okay, and we are back on Missing Kids TV. This is episode number 23, and this is segment number 3. A little bit of time has passed since the last segment, as usual. It is now early on Thursday morning. Okay, the last segment was on Wednesday, and it is now Thursday morning. So, hopefully we'll get this all done before Friday. Let's see, what do we got here? Okay, in case you're wondering where Mike and Allison are, they are most likely in the chat room, as is Angel, and as is I, which is going to be kind of weird because we're here talking on this recorded segment, and we're in the chat room at the same time, so we're kind of in two places at the same time, which is kind of weird, but who knows. Anyway. All right, we're gonna have the top of the hour coming up later. We're not gonna do that right now. Maybe I'll be making somebody laugh later. We'll see. Anyway, Angel is here. Angel is not her real name, but is the name that we are using for this particular show. Angel is a human trafficking survivor, and for those that are joining us late, we will recap what we've covered in just a second. So, Angel, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. Now, for everybody else, a couple minutes have just passed by, and for us, it's been about 24 hours or something like that. Okay. So far, what we have said is that she was at a youth center. She had a drink of water which had a pill of some sort put into it. Do we know what exactly was put into it? Did the cops say?
Yes, they said the date rape drug was in it.
Okay, so it was like Rohypnol or something like that? Okay, all right. So some sort of a date rape drug was put into your drink. From what we've established, there was up to 6 other people watching your every move at this event that was at the youth center. And you were walking home from the youth center, and you were walking by a woods or in the woods or taking a shortcut home?
Kind of on a trail.
You were on a trail. Is this like something that you normally would take home?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And you passed out, and unfortunately were taken advantage of by an unknown male. Okay. Now, do you currently know who this individual was? Has he been identified?
Yes, he was identified.
Okay. And what about the other individuals? Have they been identified, like the people that were on the buses and the people in...
Yes, all those people were identified. Everyone that was involved was identified.
Oh, okay. And were charges filed against them? I mean, this is what, 4 years later now. Did they go to jail? Are they on trial? Are they under arrest? I mean, what is the current status of these individuals here?
5 years now, actually. I am currently filling out paperwork to drag the two first people.
The male and the female with the gun.
People,
okay, so there's litigation against the first two individuals out of the 10 then.
Yes, I am taking those two to court.
Okay, so you have a court case pending against them. Is that correct? Okay. And the other 8, do we know, are they in jail? Are they on the streets right now? Or do we know where they are or what's going on with them? Or
I only know where one is. The rest I don't know. I kind of,
So I guess that is one of the reasons why we're using a fake name today then, I guess, because 7 other individuals in this incident are currently on the streets, I guess, then, or
on the streets at their parents, I can't tell you.
Okay, well, that's kind of scary. I feel for you. I'm here for you. So wow, that's really kind of scary there. But we're going to talk about a couple of things in this segment. I actually wrote down a couple notes here, which I hadn't done in any of the other segments. The other segments I was just kind of asking questions off at the top of my head. But in this particular case, I have a couple notes that I wanted to mention some things here. First off, for anyone that might be listening who has suffered from this kind of a thing, or has something similar going on in their life, there is a 800 number that you can call for help on this kind of a subject. It's a number for RAINN. It's an organization known as RAINN, RAINN. That stands for the Rape, Abuse, Incest National Network. The number for that is 1-800-656-HOPE. Now, I'm not sure if that's just a number that's only for the United States or not, because we talked off the air, and Angel says that she wasn't familiar with this organization. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, but they gave you a number for a different organization in Canada. Is that correct?
Yes, actually, it's, as far as I know, there's only a few cities in Canada that have the program. Oh,
that's sad. We need to work on that then. We need to increase that kind of help for people in Canada. I say this a lot. I do a lot of things for Canadian listeners. I play a lot of clips on this show to help out Canadians, because they can't get Lifetime channel in Canada at the moment. We're currently awaiting news from either John Walsh or the A&E network or something like that as to what is the current status of America's Most Wanted. I have a fan in the chat room and in the Facebook page that I have at facebook.com/missingkidstv by the name of Karen. She comments on almost everything I post, and she lives in Canada as well, and she really wants to know whether or not CTV in Canada is going to have America's Most Wanted. I wish I had the answer. I do not have the answer to that. I really wish that I did. I've been trying to contact a lot of different people as to whether they're going to get the show, and I don't have an answer, unfortunately. I do have information which I call the fringe factor, which you can find out information about that on my website. I'm not going to talk about that right now. I'll talk about that next week, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. Yeah, so there's a couple things that I did want to mention here. You, Angel, have helped promote this show in a good way. You have helped to change this show in a good way. Because we are doing this show in the format that I'm currently doing it, where I'm recording all of these segments in the quiet because of the severity of this particular subject, I've had to number the segments. I mean, this what I'm talking and recording right now is segment number 3 of this particular show. I don't yet know how many segments I'm going to have. Probably like 5 or 6, I think. But we'll see. But what I'm thinking for future episodes is that I'm hoping to have the segments numbered. So that way, if I, like, say I have, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 segments in next week's show. If something gets said or somebody needs to reference something in a specific part of my show, they can say, oh yeah, do you remember that part in segment number 4 where Joe Schmo said blah blah blah? What exactly did he mean by that? It will help future cases and future shows of mine if I can easily identify specific parts of the show instead of having someone listen to the whole entire 2 hours and say, oh, well, somewhere in that 2 hours is something that I wanted to listen to. No, I can point someone directly to it. So I want to thank you, Angel, because by doing this, you have helped to make my show better, which has helped to possibly save a life or change a life or something like that, which is very good. So thank you for that. Thank you. I do want to say that in addition to helping to inform people of what happened to you, you are writing a book which will help others to get more educated, more enlightened as to the horrors of human trafficking. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about this book that you're writing? You have a book publisher, is that correct?
Yeah, her first real name is Anna, but she goes by Lee Safari when she releases stuff.
Okay, now I believe this is a friend of Glendine's, I think. Is that correct? And Glendine's been on the show a couple times. She's been on the show in episode 5 and on episode 8. Plus, I call into her show every once in a while. Her show airs on Tuesday nights on Blog Talk Radio. I'm usually at work at that time, so I don't usually get to call in live, but I do listen to it on replay a lot. And so Anna, I believe, lives in Sweden, and she's a regular caller to Glendine's show. And I believe she's assisting you with publishing your book. Is that correct?
Yes, she's doing so much for me, helping me with my book, and I'd really like to thank her if she ends up listening to this, because for her to go out of her way and to say, what's your dream? I said, I want to write a book. She said, let's do it.
Awesome. Excellent. That's great. I'm so glad to hear that. Did you now? I think off the air you said that you wanted to say a small quote from your book. Is that correct?
Yes, it's a
okay.
Small
Go right ahead. The floor is yours. Go ahead. Say something, a line or two from your book here, or say. Go ahead.
This happened to Angel when she was only 14, and she still lives with memories at the age of 19. She feels alone. She feels sad. Can we blame her for having feelings like that? I don't think so.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, this unfortunately, this incident is something that's going to stick with you the rest of your life, and it's my sincere hope that this never happens to anyone else. Okay. I hope and pray that people will listen to this episode, that they'll share this episode with their friends, they'll download this episode to their iPod and share it with their friends, or give it to others, or what have you. You know, I hope that this goes all over the place. I do know that last week I had you on the show for maybe a couple minutes or so. We had a lot of background noise and stuff like that, which is kind of one of the reasons I'm doing it this way. But that particular episode, I had 200 people listening, okay, which is the highest number that I've ever had on any episode that I've ever done of MKTV. So I want to thank all the people that tuned into that. Let's see, I had exactly 192 listeners last week. So that was good. That was very, very good. That's enough to fill a small gymnasium, perhaps, full of people that listen. And it's my sincere hope that a lot more listen to this, and then those that do pass this on to somebody else, and so on and so forth.
What I'm doing is after this is on, I'm gonna take the link and a few people that I used to go to school with actually want to listen to it because they remember back in grade 9 when they saw the missing posters of me all over.
Right, right. Now, I mean, I know that you have told this story before on other shows and other platforms and other media of sorts, but this is the first time I'm heard of it. The first time I've heard of the story, the first time that I've really gotten to know it. I mean, I've known you maybe a week or two now, and I'm enthralled by your courage. I'm inspired. I don't know. I'm not good at words here, but I'm very inspired that you are taking these steps to help others, and I'm really glad that you did that there. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you. Just to point out real quick, there's stuff that I said on Gwendine's show that I didn't say on your show, and there's stuff I didn't say on your show that I said on Gwendine's show.
Well, of course. I mean, it's, chocolate and vanilla, I guess. I mean, one show is a little bit different than another. Is there something that you wanted to say here that...
Actually, you got a lot more details than she did. But
oh, I see.
The reason why I try not to give too much detail, because my book gets into great detail of anything I can remember.
Well, right. I mean, you still have court cases pending and things like that. I mean, we wouldn't want to jeopardize that in any way.
Yes.
So I mean, so yeah, don't mention anybody's like first name or anything like that. We don't want to do that there. So I don't want to do anything to jeopardize your case. I would very much like to see the perpetrator of this crime put behind bars.
Actually, in my book is where everything comes out, first names only.
Okay.
Except for my name.
And I think you said that once the case is done and that this guy is behind bars, that you're going to come out and reveal your name and everything, and it'll be put on the book and stuff like that. Is that correct?
Yes. My book's actually called Angels Wings. How she
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I like that.
And I'm actually having a local artist that had. I have my own little show that I'm starting.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a bit of my book, and I took it in to show one of my buddies down at a local studio, and he runs a local band.
Okay.
The band's LS. It's a really small local group, but they're getting out there slowly. And
well, hey, if you want to have them on the show at some point in the future, just let me know, and I'll have them on. Okay.
Yes.
Does that sound good?
Yep. But I took the story in, right, and I printed off everything, and one of the front area of their studio is all local art drawn by people.
Okay.
And one of the artists actually came in to drop off something, and she saw the picture on the front of my book, and she heard me talking to LS and saying that I want someone to draw me kind of a different angel for the front cover of my book.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I'll do it for free.
Mm-hmm.
And now, thanks to them, they're going to help me get out my story, There was a bit of talk about me going to school with them to talk about my story.
Cool. Great.
So I'd like to also thank them for all the stuff they're doing for me. And
well, you have, whether you know it or not, you have a lot of support. I'm willing to bet. I mean, I can't see the future. I mean, what we're doing right now hasn't happened yet, but I'm willing to bet that there's a lot of people in the chat room right now that are supporting you, that are, giving you words of encouragement and things like that right this very minute in the chat room, which I haven't done yet, which is a little mind-boggling, but you get what I mean. Yeah. If I have timed everything correctly, which I don't know if I have, but if I've timed this correctly, it will now be 2 o'clock. It will now be the top of the hour. If I've added my numbers correctly, it'll now be the top of the hour, and we're going into the second hour, like right this very second. if I've added everything up correctly. Now, for this particular episode, I'm not going to be playing the musical accompaniment and blah 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 that I normally do to get people to go listen in on the second hour and stuff like that. So I'm going to fake it. So I'm going to fake it a little bit here. So Angel, say the following words. Say, the manhunt starts right now.
The manhunt starts right now.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so that there. Now we're in the second hour. Okay, so that's about as close as we're gonna get to that. So hopefully that made you laugh a little bit. So I don't know, but anyway, I did want to make one comment before I end this particular segment. Okay, in the last segment. I mentioned something about the police in this case. Now we'll talk a little bit more about that a little later on, but I did want to say that in my opinion, and obviously I don't know all the details of the case, and for obvious reasons we can't say every single detail about the case for obvious reasons because, you know, you have a fake name, we got the case still in court and stuff like that. But it seems, just from a listener's point of view, that the cops kind of dropped the ball on this case, being as how some incidents occurred in January of 2007 and your incident occurred in November of 2007. Now, I believe that you can say something about one of the cops in this case. Is that correct?
Yes, and I don't mind.
Okay, go ahead.
Name.
Go ahead.
The lady that handled my case, I don't know her first name, and actually after my case, directly after my case, she got demoted from a detective down to a police officer. Okay,
well then, I guess justice was served, sort of, in a way. But I wanted to mention that in cases in the past, I mean, your case is not the first case where it appears as if the police mishandled the case. The most recent case being what's happening in Sanford, Florida, which I actually covered a little bit about this last week. We talked about the Trayvon Martin case last week, and some people believe that the Sanford police mishandled the case by allowing George Zimmerman to go free after he claimed the Stand Your Ground law. That's going to be debated in the courts starting, I believe, May 29th, I believe, is when the case, or when the case goes to trial, I believe. So that in some aspects is the police dropping the ball, and then of course you can always go back way back to the case way back in 1981 of Adam Walsh. For those that are not aware, the Adam Walsh case had a couple of police in that case, quote-unquote, botch the case. The person who eventually, 27 years later, was accused of murdering Adam Walsh by a guy by the name of Otis Toole, Toole. He confessed to the crime back in, I forget the year, I want to say 80-something, 83 maybe it was, something like that, and he confessed to the crime, and they had his vehicle, which had blood stains in the vehicle, which one would assume would have been Adam's, in evidence when he confessed. He then later recanted the confession, and the police in that case, because he recanted, ended up destroying that evidence, which would have proven that Otis Toole killed Adam Walsh. So the police dropped the ball. They ended up 27 years later apologizing to John and Reve Walsh for mishandling the case. They publicly admitted that they mishandled the case. So police, unfortunately, police are only human. There are some that are exemplary. I mean, for example, we have the All-Stars coming up this week. In fact, voting for the All-Stars is going on right now. It ends tomorrow. If you haven't done that yet, please go to amw.com and vote for your favorite All-Star. But unfortunately, they're human. They make mistakes sometimes, and we should not hold all police as being incompetent or being corrupt or anything like that, because not all police are. So, a good majority of the police that I've encountered are genuinely out to try and make the world a better place, just like you and I are trying to make the better place. Now, I'm not a policeman. You're not a policeman. As far as I know, you're not police, right? But we are still also trying to make the world a better place. So maybe we will, maybe we won't. I don't know. I only go one day at a time, and I try to do my best. Okay, well, with that, I'm nearing the end of the allotted time on my nice little camera phone here, so that will be the end of segment number 3. In just a moment, or in just a few seconds for all the listeners, we will be doing segment number 4. And you are listening to Missing Kids TV. Okay, and now we are back on Missing Kids TV. This is episode number 23. We are on segment number 4. A little bit of time has passed. It is still Thursday morning. Let's see here. I have some technical glitches on this show. Oh, really? Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I do. I have technical glitches on this show from time to time. So I know just a few seconds have passed for all the listeners, but it's been maybe, 2-3 hours or something since the last segment. I've been talking with Angel off the air a little bit, and let's see. Now, I am going to probably get rid of Tom the Cat. I know he's been kind of my mascot for the last few episodes. Anytime I have a technical glitch, I use Tom the Cat and telling me that, don't you believe it. No, I don't have technical glitches. But I'm going to change him into a different mascot. Now, if you want to find out who that mascot's going to be, you're going to have to tune in next week. I already have it set up and everything, but you're going to have to tune in next week. So you're going to have to come back next week and find out. We are talking today with Angel. Angel is not her real name. This is a fake pseudonym that we are using for the purposes of this episode. Anyway, Angel is a human trafficking survivor. She is doing several projects. One of them is, SYM Radio. Is that correct?
Yes, SYMradio.com.
And that I believe is my friend David's show. I believe that stands for Speak Your Mind. Okay, and you're what? You're a co-host?
I'm a co-host. Also, I have my own show that they will be running off once they fix the SYM Radio is having some technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties? Don't you believe it? Yeah, no, that runs rampant. I know a lot of my friends have technical difficulties. I was listening to Glendine's show on Tuesday, and she had like her internet crash halfway during her show. So Blog Talk Radio itself, in general, is kind of known for having technical difficulties. I have them on almost every single episode. I have technical difficulties in one form or another, so we'll just go from there. Okay, one thing I did want to mention though is as is kind of like a standard procedure for me. As it relates to many of the cases that I talk about, is that I in my own free time, will go and search details of cases online. Okay, and I tried while we were off the air in the last couple hours, I tried to look up a little bit of information about your case and similar cases that are similar to yours, okay? Now, your case took place in Barrie, Ontario. Okay, that's in Canada for those that are geographically challenged. And anyway, I found a similarity, shall I say. Now this could possibly be the fifth person that we were talking about that went missing. Now I don't know this for a fact. I'm just going from what I was able to find on Google and other such searches. Now I came across a person by the name of Alexandra Flanagan. This person went missing back in 2007, and they found the remains of this person. I believe they found them on the same trail that your particular case took place at. I'm not entirely certain of that, so don't quote me on that, okay? Or I guess I should say alleged, case or whatever. I know John Walsh says alleged a lot, so I don't want any kind of, legality problems with your case. I don't want to interfere with your court case in any way, shape, or form. Okay, so I'm going to say allegedly. Your alleged attack occurred on whatever. But they found some remains on the same path that you were on at the same time, I guess, or whatever. Are you familiar with anything with the Alexandra Flanagan case?
Actually, yes. I participated in the search for her. Once they found body remains in Sunnydale Park, which is about 20-minute drive from my area right now. And,
you mean from your house right now?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then after that they moved the search to Barrie, and I helped in Barrie for a while searching for remains or whatever.
Now at the time that you were doing the search, now you didn't know if this was like related to your case. You just heard that somebody was missing, or did you know that this was related, or do we assume?
I heard from people that always go to the youth center, actually, that she went there a couple times prior.
Okay, so you said that the youth center was shut down at a couple years out, so this would have been, what, 2009 that it was shut down?
Yeah, 2009.
Okay, now I do believe that she went missing in 2007, and her remains were found in 2011, I believe. From the webpage that I'm currently looking at. I'm not going to say the webpage on the air, but I'm looking at a webpage about this on as we speak, as I'm recording this on Thursday morning. I'm looking at a webpage in Canada about the Alexandra Flanagan. I'm sure that if you did a Google search yourself, you could probably find it.
It was one of Canada's biggest case.
Oh, really?
Actually.
Yeah, that would not surprise me. Now I love the last sentence on this particular webpage I'm looking at. Major crime investigators are not releasing results of this evidence search. No, of course they wouldn't. Because I believe not only is it a major case or whatever, but your case and I guess the other four. That's a good question. Is the other four people that were found, did they have cases pending? Do you know?
No, they had no cases pending.
Are you trying to get cases pending? Are you friends with the other four?
What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to at least get, it's no longer our local police I'm going to, or our local court. I'm going to a higher up, probably the Ottawa government court.
Okay. Are you friends with the other four victims? Do you know the other four victims?
I don't know the other four, no.
Okay. Well, all right, I guess. I mean, do you? I would assume that the police would know who they are.
great question I should ask on Friday when I go to see them, or today.
Well, yeah. The next time you're in touch with the cops on your case, ask if you can find out who the others are. Maybe you guys can build a case together. You know?
Yeah, I'm seeing them Friday morning. So today morning.
There you go. That's what we do here on MKTV. We try and get justice. Hey, if you can somehow find out the other 4 people, you can have a major case. If you had 5 people testifying against these 10 individuals, that would be huge. We could make a difference in your town. And
I'm hoping to make a difference.
Oh, you are. You are making a difference right this very minute. And when this hits the air, then all the people that are listening are going to be making a difference as well, because they're all going to share this with their friends, right? Show of hands, right? Right. We're all going to share this. We're going to download this. We're going to share it and put it on all our social media, right? Yes. Okay, there you go.
Share with family, friends.
Exactly. We want other people to know Angels Story. We want Angels Story to get out there and to be told to everybody, and hopefully Mike and Allison and David and Carolyn and Glendine and everybody and Miss Terry and whoever, they're all in the chat room right now. I would hope. I would hope and pray that they are. Maybe they aren't. Maybe they're off doing something right now. I don't know. But I would hope that they're all in there and they're all supporting you and they're all here for you as I'm here for you. We've become friends off the air. You have my phone number, etc. So it's my hope that we will continue to get justice in Barrie, Ontario.
I will always call and give you updates.
Well, yes, please do. And I think you wanted to mention a little bit about some of the projects that you're currently involved in. You have several different web pages and not just your book. I mean, you're doing radio shows and you have a YouTube channel and stuff like that. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm running groups. I have a Facebook. I have a YouTube channel where I'm doing an interview show that's called Justice Fights for Angel.
Okay, so if you type in Justice Fights for Angel into Facebook, then you should be able to find Angel's Facebook page. Is that correct?
Yes, or you can go into Facebook and type in Angel White.
Angel White. Okay. All right. Well, that's cool. And I'm almost certain that I or somebody else will be posting the links in the chat room for the people that are listening to this live. Now, if you're listening to this on a replay, and if you're not, then you should be, because don't just listen to it live, listen to it on a replay, so we get a lot more hits and lots more other good stuff like that. If you're listening to this on a replay, then go to facebook.com/missingkidstv. I will have all the links there available for this particular episode. I do believe that I have some of the links in the Blog Talk Radio episode itself. So if you're listening to this on blogtalkradio.com/missingkidstv, and if you're not, then I don't know how the hell you're listening to this, but you're going to want to click that nice follow button too, the follow and join button underneath the green MKTV logo that my good buddy Mike didn't know about for a nice 20 some odd weeks there and didn't know how to click the button. So yes, even in a pre-recorded episode, I'm still going to make fun of you, Mike. Yes, okay. Yeah, you're going to want to do that. You're going to want to click those buttons so you know when my show is, and you're going to want to do that, okay? I have all the links and everything up there. So tell us, what other projects are you working on there, Angel?
Mostly my book that I'm working on.
Okay.
Right now.
Okay.
I find working on a book, I thought it was going to be like a couple days it was going to be done, but see, the book goes all the way from grade 9 all the way until my happy ending, which I'm not going to give away. I already have my happy ending to my book.
Right. I think I mentioned. Did I mention that? I don't remember if I mentioned that on the air or not. I don't know if I mentioned that last time or not.
words sometimes.
Yeah, but okay. Now, I think you said you wanted to say a small quote from that.
Actually, I wanted to share a bit of it.
Okay, go ahead.
A little bit of it highlighted here to share with you.
Sure. The floor is yours. Let's get a small sampling of Angel's book here, real quick.
Okay. Angel got to live with her mom and aunt. She thought they were going home. She fell asleep in the back of her aunt's car as they drove. She heard her mom's voice about half an hour later. Angel sat up and saw the cop station. She started to shake. Her aunt came to the back of the car, opened the door, and asked Angel to get out. Her aunt then took her in her arms and hugged her and said, "Remember, this was not your fault." Angel found it a struggle to walk still. She was still in pain. At 11 p.m., a cop called Angel into the back. She followed him quietly, not knowing what was going to happen or where she was going. The police officer took Angel into a room and closed the door. Angel was shaking still. She stood up when a female cop walked in and shook her hand. She did not tell Angel she could have her mom or a lawyer in there. She started to interview Angel. She told what she could remember, making it to the trail, then trying to fight back, the getting on the bus and the threats of guns. Angel even admitted she felt unsafe talking about it. It was 1 a.m. by the time Angel got to go home on the night she was found. For weeks, Angel had to take painkillers, infection killers, and morning after pills. Angel had cops at her house every second day talking to her. She stopped school for 4 months, dealing with being at a police station, police being at her house, taking medications. She felt dead. She looked dead. She even felt like a robot. Friends called, but she never wanted to talk. Until the 3rd month, one of her friends came over to the house for a visit. Angel sat with her in a room with lots of windows. Angel was scared to be in closed rooms. Her friend told her about the missing posters all over, that people were talking at school. Angel finally shared her full story with her friend. How for the past 3 months she had police there, and how she had to go to the police station, and how she had to take medications that made her feel really gross and really sick. She had to write journals every day, every meeting. She felt dirty. She wanted to move. This made her friend cry. She even talked about bruises and how the police said it was a whole setup, that all of Angel's friends, everyone at the youth center, was a part of it. Her best friend stared at her. She asked if she could come back the next day to talk to her. Angel said no, but she can call. By the end of the 4th month, Angel was sick of needles, sick of talking to cops, sick of the medication. She stopped taking the medications so she could get away from needles. One night on the 4th month, Angel's best friend called her to see how she was doing. Angel cried and said she was having flashbacks of the guy touching her. Her friend was able to calm her down. They talked late that night. In fact, it seemed like all night they talked. The next day a cop came by and suggested a crisis counselor. We set up the meeting, and Angel went along with it. She admitted that she was cutting herself, and promised she would stop. The crisis worker that night took Angel home. Angel said nothing to no one the whole day and night. Near the end of the 4th month, Angel was in court. The female cop that had interviewed her was there. She asked Angel's mom to go over. Angel has witnessed her mom's face gone from that very happy face to a very angry face. She walked over to Angel and got down to her level and said that her case is closed, that they burnt the rape kit, that they didn't even take it out of the hospital. Angel kept her promise of not hurting herself until that day. The next day she had to return to school or lose a grade. To Angel's school was the last thing on her mind. She was scared to go out. She couldn't even walk to the school alone. She had one of her mom's friends drop her off. She was scared of big crowds. It was like life she once had was taken away from her. You think the story's over? No. School. As she went to school every day, she developed a depression, hearing the rumors, not being able to say anything, scared to say anything. No one knew she was hurting herself every night. No one looked, no one noticed the signs of isolation. She felt alone. She finally got caught one day at her own cousin's funeral. Her mom noticed the marks on her arm. They were scars at that time, and a few cut marks. Her mom belittled her. Angel stopped talking to people that wanted to help her. She had horrible flashbacks at the time. She woke up screaming in the middle of the night because of nightmares of being raped, being touched, being in 2 different houses, wondering who the other people were. One night Angel got scared, and she cut herself just because she was scared, and it was the worst she had ever done to herself. Her mom saw blood coming through Angel's sweater. Angel just said the cat scratched her until her mom pulled up her sleeve and saw all the marks. Angel was rushed to the hospital in their city. They cleaned it up and wrapped it up. They finally gave her a psychiatric doctor. She talked to him while she was admitted for hurting herself that night. She told him that she was scared to go home. She somehow managed to finish her grade 9 year in high school. That summer she did not do a whole lot with her best friend or families. She trusted no one else in her life, but no one knew she was hiding flashbacks, cuts, feelings, emotions, creepy feelings that she got at night. She started to sleep with lights on in her room. She eventually had to move upstairs to a bedroom, away from her mother. There were nights where she couldn't even leave her room. She crawled into bed and she would be scared to move. There were some nights where she snuck out of her room and curled up with her mom. Second day of grade 10, she knew she wanted to do something about the stress. She was scared. She was tired of people asking questions. With marks on her wrist finally getting noticed, people finally noticing isolation, she answered no one. That day, she decided she was gonna hurt herself real bad, the worst she could think of. She took a bottle of her sleeping pills that the doctor gave her. That didn't kill her. She had a boyfriend at the time. They were pretty close. She told him what happened to her so he would never pressure her into anything and start flashbacks. She missed 3 weeks of school after ODing. She knew she was in a major depression and fear. She left the guy scared of what would happen. Being in previous relationships that have led up to abuse, she was just petrified that the one guy that she truly liked would hurt her. She stopped talking to everyone again, but her best friend. Her friend never understood the emotions that Angel was going through, but she was always there. Summer of grade 10 for her was spent with her family. She loved to go camping out of town. She just loved getting away anytime she could. Anytime she could plan a vacation, anytime her family out of town would say, come and visit. It was coming closer to the start of grade 11. Now, a reminder to everyone, this is a short version of my full story.
That's incredible. That really is unbelievable story there. I am absolutely going to purchase that book when it is available. and hopefully everybody else listening will as well. I mean, just it just boggles the mind what goes through you or anyone else that goes through something like that. I can't even begin to imagine. I mean, this is going to be you have a natural talent as an author. I just want to say that.
That's what I get told by many people. My English teacher, actually, in grade 9, I've had the same English teacher, grade 9, 10, 11, and 12, and she told me that I was going to be a great author. I never wrote about what happened to me in grade 9 for a project, but from what I've written about Martin Luther King, Alan Edgar Poe, famous authors, or people that make these big speeches, and then when I had to write my own story, she said, "You're going to be a great author in the future." I never once believed her, and now look at me.
I totally believe that. Now, I hate to cut this segment off on such a high note. I mean, I think this is a high note because I really think you have a future as an author. But the camera that I'm running this on is like in the danger zone, so I have to cut this particular segment short. I know that you need to get some sleep. It's about 3 something in the morning here, so it's like 4 something in the morning there.
4:30. 4 a.m. Yeah.
Right, on Thursday. I know you're going to get some sleep. I do believe that the next segment I'm going to have is with your mom, and we're going to get her point of view on this here for segment number 5. I know you're in the chat room. If anybody wants to comment on what you've just heard, I believe that Heather will be, or Heather, not Heather, Angel, I'm sorry. By the way, Heather is not your real name either.
Heather's my mom.
Yes.
My mom's real name.
I'm sorry, I'm getting confused. It's late, guys. Okay, give us a break here. Okay. But Angel is going to be in the chat room answering questions and taking your comments and things like that. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So with that, we'll be back in just a moment here on Missing Kids TV. Okay, and we are back here on Missing Kids TV. This is episode number 23. We are doing Angels Story. This is segment number 5, in which I have a different person that I am going to be talking with for a few minutes. This is Angel's mother. Her name is Heather. Say hello, Heather.
Hi there.
Hi there. Okay, I've had you on the show before, I think, yes?
Yes.
Okay, briefly, I think we talked about the Gina DeJesus case, which I will be doing again in June. We'll talk about that particular case again come June. I will probably have you on the show again at some point in June. But for now, we are talking about Angel's story. Now, Angel's your daughter. Angel is not her real name. We are using a fake name for the purposes of this episode and kind of in general. What we've it is now, let's see here, it is now 9 o'clock Central on Thursday, which would be 10 o'clock Central your time there in Canada. I've gotten about maybe 2 hours of sleep, as have you, I think. So this is not going to be a long session for this particular segment here. But I did want to kind of get a different take on Angel's story. I wanted to get a separate perspective of how this particular event and what this perpetrator did, and what I guess the whole gang, the whole group of 10 people or whatever, how their actions have affected you and kind of affected the whole family and everything in general. I could probably talk for another 2 hours about Angel's case herself, but I wanted to get it from the perspective of someone else in the family. So why don't you give me a couple of minutes here? Tell me like how this event has affected you and your family here.
Well, it's changed our lives forever. It's hard to explain. It's been a roller coaster ride, and it's changed everything and the way you look.
It's like you never look at life basically the same.
No,
I mean,
life will never be the same, and that's for myself, my daughter, and for my son, and my family, the immediate and the extended family. It's changed everybody forever.
Right. Now, I want to say though, in the event that there are other missing, or should I say, more trafficking people that may be listening, or this may be spread to other mediums or other social networks or something like that, that your family has not totally been changed for the worse. I mean, you guys have somewhat gotten closer because of this event.
Yes, like we're all for one and one for all, no matter what. But yes, it's brought a lot of people, everybody a lot closer.
Okay.
Aunts, uncles, cousins, brothers.
So, I know you're very active with helping out your friend Nancy in her case for Gina. Are you how shall I say it? Are you like an advocate, like me and her? I mean, are you writing a book? Are you doing? No,
I'm just helping Nancy and Felix out with Gina's case. It went cold. She went missing 8 years ago. And it's been cold. The case has been cold for a few years now.
Okay.
And I got Nancy. I got Gina her own Facebook page.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
I'm working with the family, even though I'm in Canada and they're in Ohio, and we keep in close contact, Nancy and I, and we talk on the phone.
Let me ask you, I mean, how closely are you working on, like, the court case for Angel, or, like, the police, or whatever? I mean, do you keep in, like, a lot of contact with the detectives on the case, or...
No, I don't deal with the police. There's workers in other organizations that will take care of that part.
Okay, because I know Angel's 19 now, so I mean technically she's an adult now. I mean, is she? She said in her segment, she said something about that she had to go on Friday morning and talk with the people on her. I mean, so is that something that she's doing on her own, or is that something that you are doing with her?
There's only so much I can do with her being over 18, but
the incident itself happened when she was a minor, so that's I'm curious on how that works. I mean,
well, it's changed. Like once she gets to 18, like you know.
Well, I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know a lot about law or anything like that, so I'm not sure how like something like that plays out.
I am quite involved in Angel's case.
Oh, I did not mean to suggest that you were not. I apologize. Okay. Don't think that I'm trying to belittle you or anything like that. I'm not trying to suggest that you're not involved in every way. I would assume that as a mother that you would be involved in every way possible with Angel.
That's for sure.
I was just trying to gauge whether you were like launching your own investigation or something like that.
No, I'm just following behind Angel, and I back her up 100% along with our family and
Excellent.
friends. So she's not alone. That's for sure.
Has she approached you for like commentary or anything on her book, or is that just like that's her baby, pretty much?
The book is her baby, and what she tells me is I'll have to wait and buy the book.
Okay. All right.
But she has also told other family members too.
Oh, I see.
So she's very secretive. She's very secretive. She goes off by herself to write her book.
Okay. Now, I would assume. I mean, I've had other guests on this show before. I've had Glendine on the show. I've had Carolyn Bishop, who is I guess the victim of the Charles Edwin Klein case, for lack of a better term. So I've had other people on before, and I'm how do I say it? I'm trying to get the point of view of a mother. I mean, Glendine talks very highly of Jessie and Jessie Foster and her case, and I have a lot of respect for Glendine, and I'm trying to gauge your case. I mean, whereas just to play for an example here, okay, Jessie is most likely still out there somewhere, and but there's I don't know how to say this. There's a little bit of a difference between someone who's missing and you can't see them every day, and yet someone who's been the victim of a crime, but they're still with you. So you have to forgive me because I don't always say words in the exact correct manner. I apologize if this is not coming out correctly. But what I'm saying is there's a little bit of a difference between supporting and loving and whatever someone who is missing. Okay, because I mean I support Glendine and I care about Jessie just as much as anyone else, but I also support you and care about Angel, and I also support Nancy and care about Gina and so on and so forth, and there's hundreds of other cases out there that I would do the same. But do you feel as if there's a little bit of a difference, being as how Angel's not missing, you know what I mean? So
well, she was missing. Well, I know what the pain is to have your child gone and not knowing where your child.
Right. I mean, I am a parent myself. I mean, my little boy is going to be turning 6 later this month. So, I mean, I do know what it feels like to be a parent. Now, I being an advocate for 5 years almost, I do know what it's like to be an advocate and to deal with cases on a daily basis. However, I do not know what it's like to be Angel. I do not know what it's like to be a parent of a missing child or a parent of someone who has suffered through a tragedy. I pray that I will never know that. Knock on wood, I suppose. But so I can only sympathize what you're going through and what other people are going through, and I commend you guys for taking the time to be half asleep and talking to me on Skype and whatnot. I really that takes a lot of courage and a lot of dedication, and I hope that
one thing I want to say is every time she goes out that door, I have fear.
Of course.
It's a constant panic attack every time she walks.
Well, I'll tell you what. The other day we were talking off the air. Okay, me and you were talking via Facebook and Skype and stuff like that. And she was over at a friend's house. And we were a little concerned about her being out somewhere. And we we both suggested that if we would help her. I believe you. Tell everybody, what did you do in order to make it so that she would come home that particular night?
Well, she was going down to this one place, and it's been a problem in the past, and she was going down there so she could use the computer to do her work. So I had promised her a laptop, and I got her the laptop, and she's been at home ever since.
And very happy, too.
And very happy
for that. So just a simple laptop at Walmart or whatever, and things are back to normal, and now we don't have to worry nearly as much, right? So
for now, until the next thing comes out.
That, I suppose that I guess that will always be the case, I suppose, because unfortunately, I guess these other 6 or 7 individuals are still out there, I guess. So I guess I don't want to say you'll always be looking over your shoulder, but I guess in a way you probably will be. So that's kind of I guess a sad part of this, and I don't really want to end on a bad note.
You never know when something's going to creep up on you. Like there's been incidences in the last 5 years, and I've handled them pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, because
just to keep her safe.
Angel did mention to me off the air that there was probably a couple things about her specific case that you've never said to her. So there are a couple details about this case that you have held from her, basically to protect her. Is that true, or?
That's true, and I'm not going.
Don't say it. Don't.
No.
Yeah, no. But yeah. So yeah, that's great. That's I'm glad that you are so active and so protective and caring and whatnot. That's great. And I hope that this message is like a I don't know, like a beacon of hope for others, I guess, or something like that. So I'm willing to bet that tomorrow at this time when this airs, that you also will probably be in the chat room along with everybody else who will be supporting you and whatnot. Because this segment that we're recording right now, Angel will have no idea what we're talking about until this actually hits the air. Just as you will probably have no idea about what anything that she said. So yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of things are coming to light that I had. She was kept things to herself. So there's some things that I do know, and there's other things that I don't know.
Well,
and after she turned 16, the workers and everyone, unless she gives permission, they can't tell.
Right.
Can't tell me anything.
Well, let's not get too much into that. I don't want to jeopardize anything. Okay, because for example, just a few hours ago, actually, I had to edit out a word in part 3 of this show. A name was mentioned that should not have been mentioned, and I had to go and I edited that. And believe me, nobody that's listening to this will actually have noticed that I actually edited maybe, I want to say 5 seconds of segment 3, other than Angel and myself. So I did a flawless editing job there. So you guys will listen to this later, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But yeah, okay, so I'm actually nearing the end of this particular segment because I wanted to try and leave about 10 minutes or so for Angel to possibly call in live tomorrow. So in the event that this is the last segment, I'd like to say thank you very much for allowing me to tell Angel's story. I don't think it will be the last segment, but in the event that it is, I'd like to say thank you very much for allowing me to have Angel and to have you and to both talk about her particular case. So I'd like to say thank you for that.
Well, thank you for having me and having Angel.
Yeah, I trust me. This show, once it's completely done and uploaded, will most likely blow a lot of people away. And I'd like to think that with all the stuff that I have done in the last week, that this will probably be the best episode that I have done of MKTV. It is, as of now, it is being considered to be the episode of the day on Blog Talk Radio. It is considered to be the featured episode of the day. So we will see whether or not the Blog Talk team decide to do that or not. We will find out. So, all right. So again, thank you very much, and hopefully in about 10 seconds or so, we will hear from you guys live. So with that, I'm Steve, and this has been Missing Kids TV. Alright, we're going to try this again. My name is Steve. You've been listening to a replay of Missing Kids TV episode number 23. The original 5 segments that you just got done listening to for the last 2 hours or so were originally recorded in May of 2002. Back then, or 2012, I mean. Back then, there was a glitch at the end of those 5 segments, much in the same way that there was a glitch just now. Many months later, it is now February of 2013 that I'm recording this specific segment, and go figure, the glitches are following me some 9 months later, go figure. But at any rate, I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this replay. It is my hope that you will hit the follow button and follow along with all of our broadcasts. It is my hope that you will share this broadcast with others and make it go viral. Make it so that people understand the horrors of human trafficking. Make it so that people understand what kind of things are going on out there. I'm still friends with Angel. I still talk to her on a consistent basis. She's doing fine. You can follow her at Angels Fight for Justice if you type that into Facebook. Angels Fight for Justice. Additionally, links to her group and whatnot are found at the MKTV Facebook page that you can find at facebook.com/missingkidstv. If you're listening to this on YouTube at youtube.com/missingkidstv, I encourage you to hit the subscribe button to follow along. And for the rest of you guys, I want to say thank you. My name is Steve. You've been listening to MKTV, and we will be back again next week. So with that, I'm signing out. My name's Steve. Thank you for listening. And you are listening to Missing Kids TV. This is episode number 23, and this is a minute. Another trafficking victim who is afraid to come out and speak out against their attacker. It is my hope that having this conversation with Angel will encourage other individuals to come out and to come forward. And because of that, and because of the fact that lives are at stake and potential predators' lives, may be affected, and we have the potential to stop them and whatnot, that is why this particular episode is being done in the fashion that it is. I will not be taking calls in this episode. I will not be playing videos. I will not be playing musical clips. I will not be doing anything like that on this particular episode. if you want to get all the information of all the weekly stats and, where I'll be next episode and things like that, I encourage you to go to my website at facebook.com/missingkidstv. That is where you will find all the updates for all the upcoming episodes. That is not what we're going to be talking about today. Today we're going to be talking about Angel's Story. So, Angel,
Yes.
tell us a few details about yourself. Okay, you are 19, correct?
Yes, I just turned 19 back in February.
Okay. And this incident that we're going to be talking about today, this occurred when you were 14, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and you just now have gotten the courage to come forward and talk about this, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Well, I for one, would like to commend you on your courage and the strength that you are showing in doing this, okay? I have been an advocate for a while, and I'd like to extend a heartfelt handshake, hug, whatever you want to call it, to you for having the courage to come forward and do that. And I hope and pray that this episode will...
3 or 4 of my friends.
Okay. And cops believe that something was put into your drink. Is that correct?
Cops have proof that something was put into my drink.
Okay, I see. Fair enough. And, okay, so from the... What is, like, the last thing that you remember on the day of the incident? And just for reference, what day was the... I mean, what year or what,
2007. It was in November.
Okay, so November of 2007. Okay, and then what was the last thing that you remember happening to you, or that you can recall before you went from place to place, or they took you from place to place, I should say?
Last thing I remembered was looking at the restaurant, walking onto the trail, and then turning around and seeing a shadow.
And that was one of the perpetrators.
Yes.
Okay, so you had something slipped into your drink. You were walking home, was it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I attempted to walk home.
You attempted to walk home, and then you were abducted.
Yes.
Okay. And what? Okay, that's very traumatic, and I sympathize with you there. Wow, that's very scary. Okay. What is the next thing that you remember happening to you?
The next thing I remember was cops opening a door.
Okay, and was this on the same day? This was. You said this was November of 2007. Do you know the exact day?
Yes, November 11th.
November 11th of 2007. So the next time after you were taken by these individuals. Now was it one person at the time that took you, or was it several? Or you don't remember?
One person walking up to me.
I'm sorry?
I only remember one person walking up to me.
Okay, you said it was a shadowy person that walked up to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Be an inspiration to others to do the same. Okay. Now, just so that my listeners are aware, okay, where are you geographically? Where do you live?
Barrie, Ontario.
Okay, you're in Ontario right now. Now, is that where this incident occurred?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. Fair enough. And okay. So you. Okay. How can I say this? You were a victim of human trafficking. Is that correct?
Yes. Attempted human trafficking.
Okay. Attempted human trafficking, which is very significant traumatic event. Okay. How many individuals were involved in this attempt on you?
According to the police, there was about 10 people.
10 different individuals?
Yes.
All in the same time?
Yes. On, separated time.
Okay. Can you elaborate on that slightly? Can you? I mean,
Yes, I can. The police said I started at House A with 2 individuals, and they think that I ended up in multiple places because where they found me was not where they first looked for me, because they got a hint from someone saying that I was at this house. Meanwhile, they found me at a different house.
okay, so you were, if I understand correctly from what we had talked off the air, I believe that you were at a party, I believe, and someone put a drug into your drink. Is that correct?
I was not at a party. I was at a community center.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Okay. So you were at like a YMCA or something like that?
Yes, but they call it the Downtown Community Center for Youth.
Oh, I see. Okay, and you were just, what, hanging out with your friends or something like that?
Yeah, I was hanging out with
A very, very special episode today, guys. I'm not doing any bells, no whistles, no sound effects, no music, no nothing. Just me and a very special guest that I have on the show today. This show is, I don't know, dedicated to a girl named Angel. Angel is not her real name. It is just a pseudonym that we're going to be using for the purposes of this particular episode. Angel is a survivor of human trafficking. She had an attempt made on her, and certain events occurred, and for the next 2 hours we are going to be talking about Angel's story. So at this time I would like to welcome everyone that is listening to this live or on a replay to Angel. Angel, say hi.
Hi.
Hello. How are you doing? I know we had a little, an incident for those that have listened to last week's episode. Is everything okay with you?
Yes, I'm apologizing to everyone for that little incident.
Okay. Well, we had a lot of audio glitches and whatnot last time. This particular episode is being done in this fashion because I feel that this particular subject in this particular episode is way too important to risk having dogs barking, phones ringing, coughing, wind, screaming, yelling, whatever. This is far too important a subject. Other people may possibly be listening to this episode, and lives may actually be at stake. So for those reasons, that is why this particular episode is being done in the fashion that it is being done. Because who knows where this particular episode is going to go, or who may be listening to it. There may be possibly listening this very